Okay. All right, we've got our thread. This is, so I've been working on several quilting projects. I made two little small hexagon quilts, and I've been doing some foundation paper piecing. I've got a couple of sewing machines, so I have quite a bit of thread. Um, this is my first time doing the um, low demand hexagons, the paperless hexagons. So, that being said, I already have some thread. I'm going to use this Aurifil to actually make the hexagons. I'm just going to use this like light gray Aurifil thread. I think this is 80 weight, but I'm like not 100% sure. I'll have to look and see. So I'm just kind of gathering my supplies. I got these little glasses. They're kind of cool. Like if I'm in bed and I don't want to like sit up, I use these. These are kind of dirty. I need to clean those. I have my scissors. Let's see. I've absolutely loved these. These are sew tights. I don't think that these are necessary right now, but I do think when it's time to start attaching the hexagons that these will be helpful. They work well when I do English paper piecing, so I think they'll maybe have some use here. And then I keep a little packet with all of my different needles. These are the needles that I quilt with. I'm gonna open this up so you can see that. And these are great for actual quilting here. I think I got these from Amazon. I don't know if you can see those. There you go. The Shishiko needles. Anyway, but for the purpose of, oh yeah, so when I was connecting my hexagons with English paper piecing, let's see if I can get these out. I was using Milner's size 11. I'm gonna pull these out so you can see like how small these are. Hi. These are like super small needles. And I may piece my hexies together with these, but I don't want to, this is supposed to be a low demand version of making hexagons, and I don't really want to use a needle this small to just make the hexagons. So I'm going to see, I am making what I'm calling like a low demand hexagon quilt. Some people call this Amish hexagon quilting, but this is basically English. This is making hexagons without using paper. So there's a sewing technique, quilting technique called English paper piecing. And I'll show you an example here. It's like where you take this fabric and you wrap it around, you take this like a piece of paper and you wrap it around fabric and you make quilts. And you can use all kinds of shapes, lots of tutorials. So this is like a little one that I made, and I have another one that I made, both for my little one. But that's this. And then what I'm gonna do is one where you don't need the paper. So it's not as perfect, but it's what I'm calling a low demand quilt technique. So I am now getting my needle out. I actually had to take a break from any sewing for a while. Life just got crazy. And now I'm trying to get back into it. And I'm trying to decide which needle to use that's going to give me the least amount of heartache, but let me piece together these hexies. And I think this is the winner. I'm terrible with needle sizing, so just I'm using this clover pack, and it's one of these. Now I gotta make a quilter's knot. So we're gonna get these needles back in there. I need my cushion. Okay, I'm just gonna get this into my cushion here. Okay, and let's see, I wanna put all these things away here. All right, let's get the thread. That's the little end. And if you've done this before and you're in the comments, let me know if you have some advice. I am always willing to listen. Let's see, you can see how fine this thread is. Again, this is, I believe, the 80. I don't know how well you guys can see that. All right. So I don't want to get like a ton. We're just going to get a little bit here. Now, because I'm not using paper with this, it's like a freehand. I think I am going to I think I do want to use it's so funny. I had a quilter's knot down pat. I could do it easily. And now I feel like I forgot how to do it. Okay, let's see if I remembered. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Grab this and pull it. Oh, maybe not. And there it is. I don't know if you can see that, but I got my knot. Okay. So let's get the hexagon folded. All right, so you take a circle. I already cut these circles out. So you take your circle and you fold it. And you put a crease, you want a little crease in there. And then fold it again. And this is all basically so you can determine the center of your hexie. Okay. So then you just want to nick the center a little. Which I did. Okay. Center nick successful. And you can kind of, you really can't even see my thread there, but that's the center. Now, I'm gonna start making the hexie. Okay, wish me luck. I so feel like I have a type A personality doing a type B project, so we're gonna see how this goes. All right, so I'm kind of going for this area in between where it starts to fray and where your fabric is still pretty solid. And I'm kind of along that line that we helped to make. And you bring oh my gosh. It's supposed to be relaxing, but I feel like it's harder than it looks. Okay, you have to do a few of these. I foresee some seam ripping in my future, but here we go. Then you come here. I kind of want to be careful to like really get my edges just so. I kind of wish I could starch this and get my iron out and like iron them a little bit. But that kind of takes away from the relaxing, just go with it flow of these hexes. So also I realize as I'm doing this, I haven't really watched a lot of tutorials on the best way to keep this hexagon sealed. Like, so I'm gonna make that up for sure as I go along here. Again, I am using 80 weight Aurifil thread, just something kind of fine. I don't really know if that's the right thing or not to do for these. That's what I'm doing. I'm gonna see how that works out. Just okay. So let's see how good of a job I did because I want a little point here. Okay, not bad, not bad. Okay, that's not terrible. Oh, that's a little too much, I feel like. Oh, not enough. Let's see, okay, okay, okay. Okay, pull this point. So this is like this point pulled. This is a little pointy, okay. If I don't like it, there's always a seam ripper, right? All right, let's see what we got here. Let's see how it looks. Okay, that's not terrible. Look at that. That's cute. Okay, so now the trick is gonna be to figure out how to like the problem is the longer I stare at it, the more I'm like, no, that's not perfect. But we're not going for perfection, but I can tell that that end is not quite even. I don't know, do I like this? Do we like this? Does that seem even enough? Is there a way to get that more even? Okay, okay, and okay, let's just keep going. All right, so again, I don't think I really watched a lot of videos on this part, which is we're trying to just keep this hexie from falling apart now that we've pieced it together. I think I've got 12 people in the live. What do you guys think? How does that look? This is a hexagon without the paper. I've done the hexagons with paper. I'm trying to figure out if this is, am I doing this? Does this look right? Or am I kind of wasting my time here? I don't want to, I feel like I'm going to end up making a bunch of hexies and then being, I know that these are not perfect, and that's okay. These are not meant to be perfect. Oh my goodness. What is happening here? Okay. I don't want to catch anything on the front. You can barely see where I did my little front piece there. Okay, so then this one here, and I think, to tie it off, I'm just gonna like maybe do a basic knot or something. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I don't know. Oh, that knot is very high. I don't think you don't want your knot that high. Let's make that knot as low and flush as possible. Okay. I'm gonna cut. All right, here we are. Here's our hexie. And I think to save thread, even though sometimes I double thread, I think, like if I do this thread like this and just do it a singular tie, you can still keep going. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I don't know if you can see, but I did two. I basically I didn't do a singular thread. This time I don't know if you can tell, I'm gonna try to do a singular thread and see how that works out. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oop. I was trying to make a quilter's knot. Let's see if I stayed successful. That is teeny tiny. We need to go again. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, let's do a few there. Girlfriend. All right, there we go. You got your quilter's knot. Okay, let's try again. First, I'm gonna put my needle down and just get some of my bends. You always have your pretty side of your fabric. You wanna go pretty to pretty. Let's see here. Okay. Let me see how it's folded in. And all right. We've got our center. I'm gonna nick our center. It's a little nick. Okay. Yeah, I need to double thread. This 80 weight, that knot didn't even, oh man. Oh, I hate to waste this thread. Let's see. Let's see. It's gonna make it a little bigger. Oh goodness. Now that doesn't want to go over. Okay, if this doesn't work, I'm gonna just get new thread. Okay. And we open it up. You can see where I went through the front. Probably could use a smaller needle compared to this, but whatever. If you have it, which I do, there you have like a little roller, something you can press down. You can use that, but that again, I think kind of takes away from the low demand that this particular way of doing hexagons is supposed to be. So I'm just using my fingers. All right. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right, so now, okay, That's looking nice. That's looking nice. That's coming along. I do think it's important to do this, whatever you decide to do, just do it the same way each time because you do have to connect these hexes together. It's kind of the second part of this. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Okay, got a nice point that we created again. Okay. There we go. Okay, that looks nice. It's looking pretty even. Pull that in. All right. And then this feels like the moment of truth. Oop. Okay, not bad. This is the first one I did. This is the second one. Not bad. I I do feel like it looks a little, it's looking a little lopsided there. I don't know how to, I think I need to make peace with that. I think I have to, this is imperfect. That's, if you want it perfect, then you need to use paper. I think that's what I need to keep telling myself. If you want it perfect, you know how to do EPP, that's what you need to do. This is not about perfection. Okay, so now we got to keep it all together. So we're gonna work ourselves around here. Okay, let's work around. All right, here we go. Okay, okay. I think to do hexagons this way, you really have to get out of your head, and you have to be here for the imperfection. Knowing that the more you do it, you probably get better. Well, of course you do. You're gonna get better at making these hexagons. I decided to do this because I've been out of my sewing room for a little while, and there were a few projects I wanted to work on, but I just needed something to kind of get me back in here. And I thought, I have some fabric that would be perfect for just such an occasion. All right, so did this. I want to do a knot. I don't see where anything got knotted there. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Do that and do this. Okay, so now I'm gonna cut here. Okay. So that's 2 hexes. And they're not perfect, but they're mine. I'd say that's a pretty good job. I don't know. I'm just kind of curious, like, yeah. It's like, I feel like matching the ends is important. Okay. Well, anywho, these are my first 2 of this project, and get my needle in. I've got many more. So I will hop on live later on and show off my progress. I'm probably going to be trying to make a lot of this in my downtime when I have time to just sit and sew pieces together. All right. Again, if you're new here, I'm using Aurifil. This is 80. It doesn't matter. You can use 50. You can use whatever you have. I have, as I said earlier, other projects, so I happen to just have some thread around. And then I'm using this needle. I actually think this needle might be a little too big. I'm going to probably downsize my needle. Maybe this one. All right. Let's see how this needle looks. It's probably a better way to, yeah, this is probably a better needle. All right. Okay. Well, thanks for tagging along while I figured all that out. And feel free to check back in and see how far I get in the next few days. Like I said, got a lot to do. Here's the first 2. Not bad. Here's the back. Double thread, single. First time doing hexagons like this. We'll see how it goes.